Shalom, family. So this lesson is entitled End Time Signs. So today it's March 23rd. We've just, it's the beginning of the Hebrew New Year. And I just want to read some articles from some things that have just happened in the last week, right? These things are a sign of the times, right? All these things popping off very, very fast and very quickly, We got to ask ourselves, what is going on? Are these so-called natural disasters, or is this something spiritual, something going on in the heavens, right? So let me just read a few articles to you. This is an article from CNN. The title is Parts of Australia Declare Natural Disaster During Once in 100 Years Floods. The Australian government has declared a natural disaster in large swaths of New South Wales as heavy rains batter the state and force thousands to evacuate. Rains have been inundating communities since Thursday, but parts of the East Coast tipped into crisis on Saturday as a major dam overflowed, adding to swollen rivers and causing flash floodings. The NSW and federal government have signed 16 natural disaster declarations in areas spanning the central and mid-north coast, from Hunter Valley near Sydney to Coffs Harbour, said NSW Emergency Service Minister David Elliott in a news conference on Sunday. There have been no deaths reported yet, but Elliott warned, "We are moving closer and closer to the inevitable fatality. We cannot say it enough. Do not put yourself in danger. Do not put the agencies that are there to assist you in the event of a flood rescue in danger," he said. Some families were forced to evacuate in the middle of the night as rivers rose to dangerous levels, and 4,000 more people, primarily in the Hawkesbury region, may have to evacuate on Sunday, said State Premier Gladys Berejiklian at the news conference. This is nothing like we've seen since the 1960s. In parts of the state that have been hit harder, that's a once in a century event. In other regions like Hawkesbury area, it's a 1 in a 50 years event, she said. Okay, so now let's move on to another article. This article is in BBC News. The title is Mount Etna erupts for the first time this year. Europe's most active volcano has erupted for the first time this year, sending a tower of bright lava into the sky. Mount Etna on the Italian island of Sicily has been largely dormant for the past 2 years. Authorities have reported no danger to the nearby towns, and there has been no disruption to air traffic. Its last major eruption was in 1992. So here's a new article from AccuWeather.com. It titles, Severe Storms Spawn Dangerous Tornadoes Over Southern U.S. A severe thunderstorm outbreak triggered strong and dangerous tornadoes across portions of the Deep South on Monday as a potent storm system gathered over the Mississippi Valley. Additional tornadoes are likely to spin up over the region through Monday afternoon ahead of a vigorous cold front that is sweeping through the region. The storm will continue to tap into warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico as winds twist across different altitudes in the atmosphere, setting the stage for volatile weather conditions. The variance of wind direction at different heights in the atmosphere will continue to cause some of the thunderstorms to rotate, AccuWeather senior meteorologist Alex Sosnowski said. This is a significant threat to lives and property, as some tornadoes may be on the ground for more than a few minutes. At the same time, an area of high pressure will quickly build into the plains behind this system, dragging cold air south from Canada. The clash of these air masses will create unsettled conditions from the central Gulf Coast to middle Mississippi and Tennessee valleys. Storms are expected to strengthen into the evening hours, and they are likely to organize into a solid line. All of the severe thunderstorm threats, including damaging wind gusts, torrential downpours, hail, and isolated tornadoes, will continue for a time into the evening hours, becoming even more dangerous in the dark, said AccuWeather meteorologist Brandon Buckingham. The strongest storms are projected to develop in western Tennessee, western Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama will threaten Nashville and Memphis, Tennessee, as well as Jackson, Mississippi, Lake Charles, and Alexandria, Louisiana. One severe thunderstorm spun up a tornado in central Louisiana around midday Monday, prompting a rare tornado emergency to be issued for Alexandria, Louisiana. And here's another article from the Weather Network. Icelandic volcano erupts after weeks of tremors, flights grounded. After weeks of tremors, a volcano in Iceland near the capital Reykjavik has erupted, shutting down flights. Iceland's meteorological service confirmed on Friday night that the Fagradalsfjall volcano on the Reykjavik Peninsula between the capital of Keflavik, site of the country's largest airport, had begun to erupt. Aerial photography confirmed the eruption at the site, with a visible lava stream from a fissure about 200 meters long, authorities said. Traffic at Keflavik International Airport has been halted while the eruption is being assessed. At present, there is no known lava threat to any nearby settlements, but people in the area are being asked to stay away and await further instructions. Volcanic gas pollution is expected to extend as far as Porlaxonf and to continue into the night. People are asked to close windows and stay indoors. The status and amount of SO2 emissions from the eruption are being assessed, Iceland's Civil Defense Agency said on Twitter. Seismologists have speculated that an eruption was possible over the past weeks, with around 40,000 small tremors registered prior to Friday night's eruption. Okay, here's another article from USA Today. Fireworks explosion in Southern California that left 2 dead caused $3.2 million in damage, rained debris on dozens of homes. A massive fireworks explosion that left 2 people dead in Southern California earlier this week caused at least $3.2 million worth of damage, officials said Friday. Residents began returning to their homes Friday evening after evacuating when Tuesday's blast rained debris down over a wide area of the city of Ontario, about 35 miles east of Los Angeles. About 80 homes were within the explosion's radius, and dozens were damaged. Although authorities still have not officially confirmed the victims' identities, cousins Alex Pays and Caesar Pays were reported missing after the explosion. Their family says they are the 2 people that were killed, according to a GoFundMe page. Fireworks are illegal in Ontario, as in many California cities, and investigators are using barcodes on the explosives to trace where they were purchased. Authorities, including the FBI, are investigating where the huge stash of fireworks came from. Officials said the fireworks do not appear to be commercial grade products as they initially thought. And this is another article from CNN. The title is 8 Killed in Shootings at 3 Metro Atlanta Spas. Police have 1 suspect in custody. Video evidence suggests it is extremely likely that the same person was responsible for the 3 deadly shootings at massage parlors in the Metro Atlanta area, police said Tuesday. 8 people were killed and 1 person was wounded in the attacks. 2 of the shootings were at spas across the street from each other in northeast Atlanta, and the other happened about 30 miles away in Cherokee County to the northwest of the city. Video footage from our Video Integration Center places the Cherokee County suspect's vehicle in the same area around the time of our Piedmont Road shootings, the Atlanta Police Department said in a news release. That, along with video evidence viewed by investigators, suggests it is extremely likely our suspect is the same as Cherokee County's, who is in custody. Because of this, an investigator from APD is in Cherokee County, and we are working closely with them to confirm with certainty our cases are related. Officials in each jurisdiction said there were no immediate indications of motive. The suspect was taken into custody in Crisp County, about 150 miles south of Atlanta, around 8:30 p.m., about 3.5 hours after the killings. The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office identified him as Robert Aaron Long, 21 years old, of Woodstock. The suspect was taken into custody without incident and transported to the Crisp County Jail, the official said. Okay. So here's another article in Business Today. U.S. President Joe Biden falls thrice while boarding Air Force One. U.S. President Joe Biden stumbled upon a staircase thrice, 3 times, while he was boarding his Air Force One plane on Friday. The incident happened as Biden headed to meet Asian American community leaders after a major shooting at a parlor last week. The U.S. president can be seen holding on the side railings of the staircase and heading up to board the plane when he fell once and then again 2 times before he could gain balance. The video of the incident has gone viral on social media. After composing himself, the U.S. president later gave a customary salute from the top of the staircase as he entered the plane. Right? And, just about, just to speak on that one article, Biden at 78 years old, like this, this guy should not be president. Anybody with common sense should see that. He's obviously unfit. He's in his public speaking engagements, you can tell that he's a little off, and he's a little slow and forgetful, and making many mistakes and things like that. And he shouldn't be president. And I honestly don't think he'll make it past this first term, these 4 years. At his age, and just from what we've seen from him, he's not. And him falling 3 times is a really bad sign for the enemies of the United States. Well, they would see it as a good sign. China, Russia, Iran. They're just laughing when they see this. They're just like, well, we can do what we want to America or whatever. Also, another article. Well, what happened just yesterday was a shooting in Boulder, Colorado, and it's 10 people were killed, including a police officer, and the suspect is a Syrian man, and he was taken into custody while his leg was bleeding. Right, so so all these things, all these so-called birth pains that are happening, pretty much all around the world, these are all, you can say that these are all coincidence, and especially all these things that I just read to you, these all happened in the last week, just 1 week. If you think that that's just a coincidence, then something's off with you. All these things happening fast and furious. And I'll go into some scripture about all these things happening and what it means, right? But we know in the scriptures, we go into the scriptures that talk about the end times, right? And it would say that things will be popping off like crazy, and you couldn't even believe that all these things were happening so within such a short period of time, right? So yeah, we're just going to get into a few scriptures, regarding these end time signs that are just popping off all around the earth, right? Okay, so let's go to first. Let's read from the book of Matthew chapter 24, verse 4 to 8. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye not be troubled. For all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows, right? Here's another scripture that I want to read. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, 2 and 3. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Right? So when the Lord comes, right? When Yeshua, the one that you know as Jesus, when he comes, it's going to be like a thief in the night. Everybody's going to be shocked, and it's going to be unexpected when the Lord comes, right? For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Right? So here's another version of it. It says, destruction will come on them suddenly as labor pains on a pregnant woman, and they will not escape. Right? And we know from a pregnant woman, they're using a pregnant woman as a metaphor for the time when Yeshua comes to the earth, right? Because when a pregnant woman has what are they called? Contractions, the more heavy and fast the contractions happen, then the sooner it is that Yeshua will come to the earth, right? So as I said, all these things that happen in the past week, just popping off one after another, all these crazy things upon the earth, right? You can't say that these things are a coincidence, right? All these things that will be happening fast and furious, and then Yeshua will come, right? So let me read some more scripture. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 6, verse 15. Then the kings of the earth, the princes, the generals, the rich, the mighty, and every slave and every free man hid in caves and among the rocks of the mountains. Right? And let's go to Matthew chapter 24, verse 30 and 31. At that time, the sign of the Son of Man will appear in the sky, and all the nations of the earth will mourn. They will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of the sky with power and great glory. And he will send his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other. Right? Let me read another scripture here. This is Thessalonians. But you, brothers, are not in darkness, so that this day should surprise you like a thief. This is talking about the elect, the chosen, the 1/3. You are all sons of the light and sons of the day. We do not belong in the night or to the darkness. For God did not appoint us to suffer wrath, but to receive salvation through Yeshua. And now let me get one more scripture here. This is Matthew chapter 24. Matthew chapter 24, verse 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also be the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also be the coming of the Son of Man be. Right? So that's saying that as in the days of Noah, before the flood came, everybody was, drinking, marrying, doing their own thing, and they didn't expect anything to happen, right? But then the flood came and destroyed the whole earth, right? So everybody wasn't expecting it to happen, and it just came all of a sudden, right? So it's saying that, so just as in the days of Noah, so shall also be with the coming of the Son of Man. So all these people will just be sitting there doing their own thing, living life after the flesh, doing their own lust, doing whatever they want, and then Yeshua is going to come, and he's going to destroy many, right? Right? I read the scripture of the scripture in Revelations that says that people's eyes will be like melted in their eye sockets, and their tongue will melt out of their mouth, right? From the intercontinental ballistic missiles, right? When the nuclear war pops off. And one more thing that I'd like to say is I have there's a video of Elon Musk, and Elon Musk is saying that, the owner of Tesla, Elon Musk says that there is a chance of a nuclear holocaust what exactly does he say? He says a dark ages, right? He says there's a chance of dark ages in the future, and when he says the dark ages, that means when so-called black men ruled, right? Because he's referring to the dark ages as in from 711 to about 1400s, right? When so-called black men ruled the earth, right? So he's saying that there's going to be a threat of this happening again on the earth if there is a nuclear war, right? So this is a video that he said. Elon Musk he's read the Bible and he knows what it's talking about. That's what he's referring to. His exact words are, there's a threat of dark ages in the event of a nuclear war, right? So he's saying that what he wants to do is he wants to take, he said, a remnant of human civilization. So he's using code words. He means his own people, white people. He wants to take them up to Mars and build the civilization up there, because he's saying that there's a threat of a nuclear holocaust in the future that would wipe out, what he's saying, his own race, right? So if you don't believe me, check it out. Check out the video on YouTube, right, of Elon Musk talking about saying that these things in the Bible, these are going to come to fruition. So yeah, I just wanted to read a few scriptures to all the Akim and Aquath. Keep enduring, keep the faith, stay in these scriptures, keep a relationship with the Most High, stay in constant prayer. Shalom. Kwam Yasharallah.